It's another edition of Social Distancing at the Chamber, a little segment we call Happy Hour with Hammer. It's the Wednesday night edition. I have to look at the calendar because, Glenn, as we know, nobody really knows what day it is ever during this age of the pandemic. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me back. I know Courtney is lurking in the wings, so I've got to perform. I've heard,
she's ready to grab the hook. After every gubernatorial press conference, we usually get together just to get your reaction. Today, we have the announcement from the governor, along with the usual public health data reporting, that mayors, if they so choose, and county boards of supervisors, if they choose, can implement a mask mandate. This won't be coming from the state, however. This is going to come from at a local level. Your reaction to today's announcement?
Today was really a very good day in terms of doing somewhat of a course correction in certain areas to make sure that we can continue to keep our hospital system from overcapacity and continue to energize our economy. And there's no playbook for this. So this is not one of pointing fingers. This is one where the reward should be for those who, just based on where things stand in the healthcare system and the economy and where the science is going. And Garrick, you started with the question on masks. Well, 5 or 6 months ago, you had international agencies saying masks could do more harm than good. Not just that they were neutral, but they could actually do more harm than good. That science has completely changed, and every credible organization in the world that has to do with masks has demonstrated that they're not only good in terms of protecting the transmission if you have it to others, but they also provide some level of protection to the wearer. So kudos to Governor Ducey for giving our cities the ability to do a mask mandate if they so choose, and also just respecting that we're 15 counties. We have a lot of different cities and towns, and the situation in rural Arizona may not be the same in Scottsdale, which right now seems to not be just the epicenter of the virus in the country, but the epicenter of nightlife in America as well.
There was a line of questioning from reporters today asking the governor why he didn't choose to go with a statewide mandate. You just alluded to some of that. There's a certain practicality to this, which is we are probably not going to have DPS officers running around Arizona issuing tickets for masks. This allows the city in question to develop its own policy.
Yes, and the governor also made it very clear that if you can't socially distance, you can't physically distance, wear a mask wherever you are in the state. Right. But what's going on in Maricopa County, what's going on in San Luis, what's going on in other areas of the state, it's not uniform. So this is an area, masks are clearly part of the solution, but there are certain cities where, if the transmission is very low today, or let's say in a few weeks is low or non-existent, this may not make a lot of sense. Right. But for Scottsdale, it makes sense. For Phoenix, it makes sense. Tucson, right. It makes sense. And I'm sure the cities will take advantage of this, and we'll all be better for it.
You and I have talked about this. When you and I are out, we wear masks. That's just what we do. But I'm trying to think. There's a area of unincorporated Navajo County that my family and I have enjoyed from time to time, and I'm trying to wonder, what in the world would that even look like? That's a lot different than the case he cited today of Nogales. So I think this puts, you've used the phrase, the ball's in our court. This puts the ball back in the control of local officials to determine how best to address their unique needs.
And Garrick, the governor listens. So when a number of mayors are saying this is a useful tool in the toolbox, he listened and he adjusted. Because I'll just say, in the business community, we don't want the Wild West across the board with a million different regulations. It's difficult enough to operate in this global pandemic. So, in my view, there's no governor in the United States of America who's done a better job of balancing the health needs of the state with the economic needs. And there's a crossover there as well.
Yeah,
So
there are plenty of times where the chamber has weighed in with real concern and you have a patchwork of policies. But a little humility here, there are some times where local control is best. And as you said, there's no playbook for this. And we're just trying to, based on the data available at a particular time, formulate the best policies.
yes, and I also thought it was important that on the business side, and we've said this, the vast majority of businesses are good actors.
Yeah.
But we've all seen, when the LA Times is running stories, have a great time about 5 or 6 miles from where I live,
Right.
We've got a problem. And I don't want the bad actors to close, or if they don't close, hurt the business receipts for the good actors.
Right.
That's not right. And that's where this whole thing was headed. So I also appreciate, we'd always prefer self-regulation, but when there's people that are not playing by the rules and they're harming others, then the hammer needs to come down, so to speak.
Right.
So I thought that was smart. And I also thought the governor did there's important words there, not just words, but new resources for long-term care facilities. With Maricopa County, that's unfortunately where about 2/3 of the deaths have occurred.
Yeah.
There's going to be more contact tracing and testing. We have a better idea of where the disease is today by leaps and bounds than we did several months ago. So we've made a lot of progress, and from time to time, and this won't be the last time, there will need to be adjustments.
Right.
Well, that's what a leader does. A leader listens, and then a leader acts. So kudos to Governor Ducey, and I just also want to thank Dr. Garrick. You can see it. She's working. She's a mom. She's an epidemiologist. She's been here for many years, and she's helped us through very difficult storms. Nothing as difficult as COVID, as the COVID virus. But I just want to thank her for her exceptional work, and we're making progress.
This mask discussion today has real implications across Arizona, not just economic ones. You and I visited with the superintendent of public instruction last week. If we're going to start school on time, we've got to bend the curve. That's something we have to do. And also, Glenn, we don't want to go back to another stay-at-home order. You've talked about the fact that we want to do our best to avoid that scenario. Well, if we're going to do that, masks have to become just a regular practice.
Mass social distancing where you can telecommute, that should continue to be done. I mean, unnecessary interactions. Right. There's you can enjoy a meal. You can enjoy a meal with a friend in 99% of the restaurants where the employees are wearing the right equipment, and there's proper distancing. It's nothing's risk free. Nothing in this business is risk free. But we can't. I'll just say this right here: we cannot go back to those orders. We don't want to go. We don't want to slide backwards. We don't want to cut out elective procedures, which really just means things that you could delay by a period of a day. That elective procedures include mastectomies, colonoscopies.
Right.
I mean, and they include things like dental appointments. We want to keep Arizona healthy. We want to keep Arizonans employed, and we could continue to re-energize the economy. But Garrick, look, we all saw the numbers. We had to make adjustments. The governor made smart adjustments. They're going to be enthusiastically received, in my opinion, by businesses, by the public, by most of our elected officials, and we'll get back to a better place.
You were on the Twitter machine today. You are a proud Scottsdale. You're a proud Scottsdale taxpayer. Any sense of whether Mayor Lane makes the call?
He's been an outstanding mayor. I love the mayor. I've got to imagine he'll do the right thing. It's an excellent city council. I'm proud of all that they've done. Like, this is, no one really expected this. No one was, what happened was humans are humans, and it turned out that that the Scottsdale, I'm not 22 anymore, unfortunately. The Scottsdale nightlife is enticing, and we want it to be enjoyable, but not right now, not in the way,
Right.
not in the way it was covered across the globe. And I think that, again, we just have to be humble. We have to be versatile. We have to be nimble, and we'll continue to we'll learn to live with this deadly virus. And let me just say, as the treatments are improving, that seems to be there's a lot of good news there, and we're making progress towards a vaccine. So, but there's going to be a period of a number of months at least where we're going to have to coexist.
That's right. Glenn, thanks as always for your hot take on today's press conference. We do this once a week, the press conference reaction, or at least when the governor goes to the podium. But we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks, Garrick.